Iceman, you got a new book coming out. You're a prolific scorer. I mean, have you ever been studied physically? Because you said that you never sweat. You never broke a sweat.
Well, you
Did
think about it, man. You think about it, man. I was 180 pounds, man. I was so thin, and had no water in me, so that's why I didn't sweat.
you had a cool demeanor also on the court mentally? What in your background and who was it? Was it your mom or dad that really instilled that calmness in you?
Well, man, I really think, man, what it was the love of the game. I really was in love, with the game, and it helped me, and it gave me confidence, and I knew that only way somebody could stop me was to get to me mentally. So I had to have a strong mentality because that was a part of their defense is to get me out of my character. And I knew that at an early age because, I knew I could score, and I knew guys one-on-one couldn't stop me. So I had to have a good mental attitude in order to have the success that I did.
Hmm. You played 30. You played for 30 until you were 38. You played a number of years. I mean, what people don't know is that you went over to Europe even after you retired from the NBA. What do you
Mm-hmm.
contribute to that longevity and being able to play so many games consistently without injury?
It was my style of play. I wasn't one of them guys that ran and jumped and and played erratic. Again, I played a certain style. People always laugh at me and stuff. Say, man, you look like you gliding down the floor and stuff. You don't look like you running and stuff. But in reality, again, I was 185 pounds, man. I was fundamentally sound. People don't understand this, man. When you fundamentally sound, man, and you understand the game, so you know how to fall, because you're on balance. Being on balance is the big key to longevity to me. I stretched a lot. I worked out all the time. So I did all the things that it was necessary to, let my body survive the brutal activity that it takes to be a ball player. So I contribute knowledge, to my longevity in the game.
The finger roll is an extinct art in basketball. It's been replaced by the floater or the put shot. Uh, why is that? Why is that part of the game gone?
Well, because they can't do it. I mean, think about it. That was pretty much my shot. And if you see a kid today and somebody say finger roll, 9 out of 10 times you're gonna think of me. Now for me to have a shot pretty much named after me is something real special to me. I don't. I'm humbled by it. Because when you hear people on TV and a guy, so-called finger roll, they say finger roll and they say George Gervin to be proud. That's humbling to me, man. So to have my own shot, if you say skyhook, you know who you're talking about, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you say finger roll, you know who you're talking about. You're talking about George Gervin. If you say crossover, you talking about Tim Hardaway or you talking about Allen Iverson. There's a confusion there. Both of them have great crossovers. But two signature moves that is no doubt who it is the skyhook and the finger roll.
Mm-hmm. As far as the NBA goes and being able to score, you were a prolific scorer. I mean, one amazing stat that you have, you scored at least 14 points in every game of your career. And well, till the end, your last game, but you've scored at least 14 points a majority of your games ever played. What kind of mentality you have to go out there and say, I'm going to put it up today again?
I was prepared, I mean, I scored 26,595 points And I remember it because my wife made a chain for me that says that. So that's why I remember the number of points that I made. But I shot 51%, 50 to 51% career. To me, that's astonishing. To me, that's what really made who I was as a scorer so effective. When you start talking about great scores, and if, a lot of times I'm not included in that conversation. Now, if you put all the scores in the history of the NBA in a computer and analytically say who is the greatest scorer of all time, I know I'll be one of them. Why they won't do that is because I'm not that narrative that they push to say I was one of the greatest scorers of all time. I don't care. See, because I know that I was one of the greatest scorers, and it was because of my ability to practice, and my shot selection and my understanding of the game. So I love the game of basketball. No, I was in love with the game of basketball, and I did what it took to make myself one of the better guys to ever do it.
Early in your career, you were technically sold.
You're 100% right.
Sold for $288,000 to the San Antonio Spurs. How was that transition for you from the Squires to the Spurs? And the Spurs basically built their offense, their offensive game around you. How was that for you in your career so early on?
Man, it was interesting, because like you said, I was sold, man. So you go back to them days of when people were being sold, if I was that ignorant, but I wasn't. I appreciated the opportunity, of playing with the Virginia Squires, the ownership that, paid me, saw an opportunity to help benefit his franchise. So he was able to sell my contract to the San Antonio Spurs, and it gave me a greater opportunity to pursue my career. And it also, prayerfully helped him with his franchise to keep his franchise going. So that's how I look at it, and it was one of the greatest things that could happen to me as a professional basketball player is to have my career here in San Antonio. San Antonio is a great place, man. I love it. I've been here since 73. It's 2024. So I've been here a long time, man. I've grown with this city, man, and I have a great love and passion for the city and a great love for the San Antonio Spurs, man. So I'm thankful that things happen like they did.
You got a book coming out. What kind of antidote or what kind of suggestion would you have to your future readers of your book?
Because I look at it like this. If somebody going to try to tell my story, I already know it because that's just how the world is and stuff. They're going to try to make money off of me and really not give me none. So let me do my own book. Let George Gervin do his book. And Scoop Jackson was my writer, and Triumph Books is the publishing company, man. I'm thankful to both of them, man, to give me an opportunity to tell my story. I talk about my childhood. I talk about my faith. I talk about my wife and how much she meant to me. I talk about my family. I talk about my addiction, that I had problems and stuff. And I talk about mental health, which we all see that it's becoming a global problem that we are not addressing. All these things are in the book, and I have an interesting take on it. And since I had opportunity to write the book, I decided to write it. So the name of it is, why I was born to score. It has nothing to do with basketball in that sense. The title means that I scored in life. A lot of the things that happened to me, I was able to recover and keep scoring. And that's really the concept of the book. So I would hope people would go out and get it. Kevin Durant did the foreword, and, he said some wonderful things about me that I never knew that he felt. And I'm very thankful to be able to get the book out, and people can decide, for themselves if they, want to go out and get the book. But I really think they'll enjoy it once they read it.
Excellent. I just want to ask you real quick. Do you think that one of the reasons why you're not considered, in that conversation is because throughout your career, even though you had so many all-star appearances, you never made it to that conference final and you never had a chance at that chip?
All right. Yeah, that could be a reason why I'm not in that narrative. But I would ask you, would that define your career if you didn't win a championship? Because a lot of the guys that was on championship teams very rarely played, and they got championship rings. So would that define my career if I didn't win a championship? So, you could push whatever narrative that, people want. I feel I had a great career, man. I'm from the east side of Detroit, man, raised by a single parent. I was poor. I was on welfare, to be able to be considered one of the 50 greatest of all time from that environment, and to say that I didn't have a successful career because I didn't win a championship. You would ask somebody, man, how ignorant can you be?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, don't it?
No, that makes total sense. Total sense. One of the greatest scorers. You did score in life. You won the lottery. Because to become an NBA player alone is astronomical, and you did it in a day and age that was very, very difficult. Let's talk about now. I know you catch. I mean, real quick, the last question I will ask you, because I know we're over time already. You follow the Spurs. What do you think of young Wemby?
Oh man, he is so special. I mean, the kid, man. I looked at him all last year, man. I paid attention to him because I never seen anything like this. The kid is 7'4", 7'5", man. He's agile. He understands the game. He can shoot the ball. I mean, he know how to play. I mean, we can ready to see something, y'all, that is real special that we never saw before. You know how people say, man, we ain't gonna never see another Michael Jordan. No, you won't. You ain't gonna never see another Wemby before either. You ain't gonna never see another George Gervin before, because we all got our own identity. And all of us had the ability to be great. Me and Michael had our turn. This kid, ladies and gentlemen, going to be something special. So keep your eye out for Victor Wembanyama.
And there will never be another George Iceman Gervin. Thank you so much for your time. You're an idol of mine. You have a blessed day, sir.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.